In August 2021, the internet went into meltdown. OnlyFans, the billion-dollar platform known for empowering adult creators, announced it was banning adult content. The very first thing that made the platform famous. Fans were furious, creators were devastated, and in a matter of hours, one of the most disruptive startups of the decade faced a full-blown identity crisis. But what most people don't know is that this wasn't just a morality move. It was a war between profit and power, with Wall Street, big tech, and traditional finance all circling in. This is the story of how a tiny British startup built in a garden shed became one of the most profitable and controversial platforms in the world. A business that rewrote the rule of fame, monetized intimacy, and forced the internet to confront a billion-dollar taboo. In 2016, a 30-year-old entrepreneur named Tim Stokely was sitting in his garden shed planning for his next venture. He'd already launched a few adult-focused websites before, but none had broken through. What he wanted was something bigger, something that could give greater control while letting fans pay directly for access. Inspired by platforms like Patreon, Tim envisioned a new kind of service, one where creators, especially adult entertainers, could upload their exclusive content behind a paywall and get paid a monthly fees from their fans. He called it OnlyFans. It started quietly, just a few hundred users, no investor, no press. The site was run by Tim, his brother, and his father, who even loaned him £10,000 to get started. At first, OnlyFans was a niche. It attracted fitness influencers, chefs, and yes, adult performers. But growth was slow. The mainstream internet wasn't quite ready for this kind of model. But it changed completely with the arrival of global pandemic. In 2020, the world went into lockdown. Gym closed, film set frozen, the live event industry collapsed, but the internet, it caught fire. Suddenly, millions of people were stuck at their home, bored, broken, and online. Creators who'd never considered adult content before saw an opportunity. Strippers, dancers, models, even teachers and nurses began joining OnlyFans, and the money was real. Some made 100 per month, others made 1,000, and a few made millions. But the platform hit mainstream headline when a former Disney actress joined in August 2020. She earned approx 1 million in less than 24 hours, breaking the site record. But the stunt backfired. Fans accused her for misleading content. Creators were furious, blaming her for sudden payout delays and new withdrawal limit. OnlyFans publicly apologized, but the damage was done. Still, the publicity had worked. Millions of new users poured in. Some well-known faces also joined the platform. Speaking of a creator who later joined OnlyFans on her 18th birthday, in just 6 hours, she made over $1 million, and within a year, she made over 50 million. Her success and controversy summed up everything about the platform: empowerment, exploitation, and viral capitalism all at once. As OnlyFans exploded into popularity, so did the sovereignty. Mainstream media questioned whether the platform was safe. Religious groups protested. Politicians and watchdogs began asking questions about moderation, underage content, and ethical boundaries. But the real pressure came from behind the scene, from banks and payment processors. Companies like MasterCard, Visa, and JP Morgan quietly began distancing themselves from platforms associated with adult content, even if creators were legal adults and fully consenting. The financial world didn't want the brand's association with adult websites. OnlyFans, despite printing money, was now on a financial para. It couldn't raise institutional funding, it couldn't go public, and most importantly, it feared being cut off from a global banking system. And as a result, in August 2021, the OnlyFans announced that it would ban all sexually explicit content. The reaction was nuclear. For many creators, this was their full-time income, their livelihood, and their independence. The hashtags like boycott OnlyFans started trending worldwide. Journalists, influencers, and even former fans accused the company of abandoning the very people who built the platform. And then just 6 days later, the company reversed the ban. Thanks to support from our banking partners, they said. But the truth was, they had no choice. Without adult content, the business model collapsed. To understand why this platform became unstoppable and uninvestable, you have to look at how the money works. OnlyFans takes a 20% of all creators' earning. That includes subscriptions, tips, pay-per-view, messages, almost everything. And because it runs lean, no warehouse, no production cost, no overheads, the profit margins were huge. In 2022, OnlyFans generated around 5.5 billion in revenue. The profit was around 525 million and it payout to the creators over 20 billion since its launch. It is one of the most profitable platform in the world, more profitable than Spotify, Reddit, and yet no venture capital firm would touch it. Here's why. Because most institutional investors avoid anything linked to adult content, even if it's legal, even if it's safe, and even if it's widely profitable. It's called wise capitalism. And in the eyes of big money, OnlyFans is still too toxic to touch. In 2021, after a backlash, Tim Stokely stepped down and he handed over leadership to Amrapali Gain, a former VP of marketing who was tasked with a near impossible job, rebranding the company without changing what it is. She tried to push the idea that OnlyFans wasn't just adult content. She launched OnlyFans TV, a safe for work video platform. She signed the business deals with fitness influencers, chefs, comedians. She even appeared in Forbes talking about the future of creator monetization. But the numbers told the real story. Over 90% of its revenue still came from adult creators. The clean version of OnlyFans wasn't catching on. In late 2023, she stepped down. Today, the company is back to embracing its roots, not in shame, but in strategy. The adult creator economy is the product and it still dominates the platform. OnlyFans now sits at the center of cultural shift, one that's forcing society to reckon with sex, money, power, and the internet. On one hand, it empowered creators like never before. It bypassed agents, studios, gatekeepers, and gave people full control over their content and income. But it also raised hard questions. Is this real empowerment or just a digital illusion? What happens when the algorithm changes, when fans disappear, and when fame became dependence? Competitors like Fansly, X, and even TikTok are now exploring adult monetization, but none have matched OnlyFans' mix of scale, drama, and profit. This isn't just a website, it's a mirror showing what people really want when no one's watching. OnlyFans was never supposed to win, but in a shed, fueled by pandemic, rejected by Wall Street, and still standing. It's a story of ambition, disruption, and survival, wrapped in scandal, success, and taboo. And in a world of business where attention is currency, it may just be most honest business on the internet.